and gentlemen, in today's video, we are going to be rebranding every single NFL team. Every team gets a new name, every team gets a new logo created by myself. I can't promise that they're all good. You know, I designed them and I only had so much time. And when I say designed, I mean just pulled images and put things together. But I think this video is going to be a lot of fun and I really hope you guys enjoy it. Couple of plugs before we hop into this video. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's hop into rebranding every single NFL team. Alright, so before we start, I just want to let you guys know I haven't made jerseys or anything like that. It's just logos and names, but I spent a ton of time yesterday and this morning putting actual research into the concepts of these teams. Some of them are clever, some of them might be humorous, some of them might be insulting. Either way, try to have fun with it. So, starting with the AFC North, the first team we have is the Baltimore Ravens. They have been rebranded to the Baltimore Bull Sharks. So I could have really done something insulting with this because of the fan base, but I wanted to do something cool and I wanted to stick to an animal with them. So after doing research, Baltimore actually houses and takes care of 41 different species of sharks. One of the most popular being the bull shark, and I think that name goes together quite well, Baltimore Bull Sharks, therefore giving us the birth of this rebrand. Color scheme wise, I tried to stay to the purple and black, but I wanted to keep the gold in there somewhere, so right now I have it in the background. I didn't know what else to do with it. Alright, next team getting a rebrand is the Cleveland Browns, and this is probably one of my least favorite ones that I did, but it's the Cleveland Rocks. Get it? You know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It's a vinyl record. Vinyl, however the hell you say it, and then Cleveland Rocks on it. It's terrible, it's boring. I wanted to do something with the music, and plus I didn't really think of anything else that cool about the city of Cleveland, sorry. No, this is where we resorted to, and if you're a music fan, I think you will appreciate it. Next team we got is the Cincinnati Bengals, and this one might be sentimental to some people, but they have been rebranded, rightfully so, to the Cincinnati Harambes. You know, the gorilla that was massacred at the Cincinnati Zoo like 10 years ago? Oh man, was he a meme. He shouldn't have died! That being said, without question, the Bengals have been kicked out of the door, and the color scheme has stayed. But they will now only be looked at as the Cincinnati Harambes. Rest in peace, my king. And now ending the AFC North, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm not kidding, this is probably the other worst one that I have. The rest of them I think are actually okay. But they are no longer the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are now the Pittsburgh Beams. Anything you search about that city just comes back as the Steel City. Steel, 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 okay? They can't be the Steelers, so they're the Beams. Pretty much the same color scheme, except more literal steel on this one. And I'm sorry, Pittsburgh fans, I really didn't know where to go, and I'm sure there was an obvious one. Alright, now moving over, we got the NFC North, and we'll start with the Green Bay Packers here. This is one of my favorite ones that I made. They are no longer the Packers, they are now the Green Bay Stains. It's the toilet paper capital of the world. I had to do something with that. And hey, I didn't put a shit stain on there, it's a pee stain, so it makes it a little bit better. Same color scheme too, I think green and gold is perfect for this. Also, if you can't tell, that face was heavily inspired by Tulane. I was looking for things to add to it, so I just like glanced around my room and then I saw that pennant and I'm like, oh. Now we got the Chicago Bears. They have been rebranded to the Chicago Cyclones. This was actually the first one no, the Cleveland one was the first one I made. This was the second one I made, and I mean, Chicago's the Windy City, right? I mean, it was either this or the Chicago Beans, because you guys have that stupid mirror bean that everybody likes to go and touch and say, oh, I flicked the bean. But I thought the Cyclones was cooler. Like, I mean, it actually makes sense. The Windy City. Cyclones. Color scheme's really the same. I did give it eyes, though, just to add a little bit of personality. Otherwise, it kind of looks like my high school logo, which was the Storm. No wonder we were ass at every sport. Now we move on to Minnesota, and this is a complete rebrand, colors and everything. Ditch the purple. The Minnesota Vikings are now the Minnesota Bobbers. 10,000 lakes, get it? Fishing? I like it, dude, I really do. It was either that or like the Minnesota Flurry, the Minnesota Blizzard. I wanted to try and do something with the Minnesota State Fish, the walleye, but nothing sounded good, and then I just resulted to bobbers. And it made sense immediately because much like the Minnesota Vikings, a bobber is something you stare at, waiting for it to do something, and it rarely ever does. And ending the NFC North, we got the Lions, and they have actually been rebranded not as Detroit anymore. They are now known as Michigan, and they are the Michigan Motors. Again, everything you search into the city comes back as the Motor City. I wasn't gonna do the Pistons or anything because they already have the Detroit Pistons. So we got the Michigan Motors, and I think that sounded a lot better than the Detroit Motors. All right, now we will go to the AFC South, and starting with the Tennessee Titans, they have been rebranded to the Tennessee Toons. Country music, Nashville, Broadway, right across from the stadium. They don't have to move or anything. They can keep the color scheme too, red, baby blue, white, I like that. But I think the Toons kind of fit. It fit better than the Tennessee Tipsies, which it almost was because everybody's always hammered there. So I found the most interesting piece of musical note I could find that didn't look like the cover of an iTunes logo, and we resulted with this masterpiece. Moving on to the Houston Texans, they have now become the Houston Outsiders. Houston's the home of NASA, and NASA, you know, is spaceships, outer space. I'm not gonna be the Rockets, the Houston Rockets already exist, so we're gonna be the next best thing. Aliens, Outsiders. Aliens could have offended some people, so that's why we had to go with Outsiders, but it also clicked pretty well. Color scheme, ironically, I actually kind of kept the same, navy blue and red, but I added a yellow instead of the white, that I want to be a little bit more dominant. Almost like what the Chargers have on one of theirs. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts, they have now become the Indiana Rush, obviously a nod to NASCAR. I actually don't hate the name. I don't think the logo's the best, but I didn't really know what else to add to it. Obviously a car, but that would have overtaken the checkered flag, and it would have looked a little bit like a different logo you guys are gonna see later, so this is what we went with. They can stay right where they are, they'll keep the same boring color concept, except instead of a horseshoe, they're a checkered flag. And ending the AFC South, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have been rebranded to the Jacksonville Glare. This one stinks, but I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't want to take them out of Jacksonville. The reason I landed with the Jacksonville Glare is because they average 272 days of sunlight a year. That is crazy. Just how do you put a logo behind glare? I'll take the tomatoes on this one. All right, now we're moving to the NFC South, and starting with Tampa Bay, this is one of my favorite ones. We have the Tampa Bay Hoagies. The Cuban sandwich originated there, so the hoagie. Hoagies are a bun that's often used in Cubans, not all the time, but often. I like that one, I really do. I like the logo and I like the name, the Hoagies. Next up, we have another one of my favorite ones. The Carolina Panthers have been rebranded to the Charlotte Beefeaters. Okay, calm down, you bunch of perverts. It's not what you think it is. A beefeater is someone who protects a queen. Charlotte is the queen city. The Charlotte Beefeaters. I think it looks clean too. I think the Panthers should call me and we can talk about this. Moving on to the New Orleans Saints, they have been rebranded to the New Orleans Phantoms. I didn't know this, but New Orleans is one of the most haunted cities in the United States of America. I also wanted to keep the color scheme if I could, or something close to it, you know, white, gold, black. So I did the best I could while trying to make my design look like it was made by somebody older than the age of 6. And ending the NFC South, we've got the Atlanta Falcons. They have now rebranded to the Atlanta Fizz. I'm a little indifferent about this. I feel like it's lazy, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's good. So Coca-Cola is from Atlanta, Georgia, but I don't want to, you know, just take Coca-Cola. So, you know, Fizz is something that's in carbonation, that's in pop, that's in Coca-Cola, kind of giving a nod to them. You know, we got the Atlanta Fizz, and they can keep the awesome color scheme that they already have. All right, let's head over to the AFC East now, starting with the Buffalo Bills. What have I done with my Buffalo Bills? Well, I have kept the color concept and rebranded them into the Buffalo Bluebirds. Not the best name in the world, but the Bluebird is the state bird for New York. And I mean, it doesn't sound bad. Buffalo Bluebirds, like it goes together. It's just a lot less menacing than a bill. But I think it could be so much worse. And that'll bring us to the New York Jets. They have been rebranded into the New York Cabs. There's a lot of cabs in New York. I mean, it makes sense. Also, it sounds real. It has a ring to it. Like, hey, let's go catch a Cabs game tonight. Maybe that's because I'm used to hearing Cavs because of Cavaliers in basketball. But no, this is the New York Cabs, and that sounds a lot better than the New York Taxis. You know what they say about New York? The streets are just painted gold because it's so busy there. That'll bring us to the Miami Dolphins. They have been rebranded to the Miami Navals after the navel orange because orange is the state fruit of Florida. Orange is stamped all over Florida anything. Also, navel oranges are just bomb, and I don't want to take them out of Miami either. I thought about making them the Florida Navals, but no, Miami Navals it is. And I almost did the Florida Bloods, you know, after the Florida Blood Oranges, but that could have earned me some enemies. And ending the AFC East, we've got the Patriots. They have been rebranded to the New England Clams. By the way, it was between this or the Chowders. I liked this logo, and I thought this logo looked better than a bowl of soup. Obviously, it's inspired after New England Clam Chowder, you know, the infamous New England Clam Chowder. I think there's also clams galore up there, but yeah, we got the New England Clams. Now moving to the NFC East and starting with the Dallas Cowboys. They have been rebranded to the Dallas Bats. Texas has the largest bat population in the United States, and I thought that the Bats would have been a cool team. However, I wanted to have a different name, but Dingbat would have obviously sounded stupid. Hornbat doesn't sound right, so we just went with the Bat. Tried as hard as I could to keep the Dallas concept going here with the colors though, navy blue, silver, white, you know, whatever it is. But I felt like adding the red eyes were necessary, even though I'm pretty sure bats are blind. Now we'll move on to the New York Giants. They have been rebranded to the New York Urbs. Urbs is a slang for city. New York is a huge city. Trying to keep the color scheme the same, as well as kind of adopting the Knicks a little bit with just a slight tint of orange. But yeah, we got the New York Cavs and the New York Urbs. I feel like a lot of people are gonna hate this one, but I really don't. I like it for some reason. Again. Now we're on to Washington. The Commanders have finally been rebranded again because that name should be thrown out the door the way it is, and they are now the Washington Gators. Look, Washington deserved a cool name like this, and little did you know that there has been a president to actually house an alligator during his presidential term in the White House. 2 of them, actually, but yeah, we got the Washington Gators. I mean, it's not offensive. Cool mascot. We kept the color scheme. Life is good. And ending the NFC East, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't mean to sound too much like the Philadelphia Flyers, but the Eagles are now the Philadelphia Criers. Because all they do is sit there and piss and moan. All right, now we will kick over to the AFC West, and we will start with the Kansas City Chiefs. They have become the Kansas City Sauce. They're known for their infamous barbecue, right? I'm not gonna have a chicken wing or a rib or anything. So we got the Kansas City Sauce. It would really fit, too, since they're like an elite team, and you know they got that sauce. Keep throwing that around in everybody's face with that slogan. I mean, the second you guys start doing bad, it's gonna backfire, but for right now, it would be kind of fire. Now we've got the Denver Broncos. They have rebranded to the Denver Roaches. You either get it or you don't. You know what I mean? Now moving on, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. They have rebranded to the Las Vegas Flush. It's after a royal flush, you know, gambling. Vegas is known for gambling, and I wanted to have the Las Vegas Royals, but that sounds like the Las Vegas Raiders. A little bit too similar for me, so yeah, I changed it. This legitimately looks like it could pass as an XFL team. I take great pride in that. And ending the AFC West, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. They are moving to San Jose, California, and they are rebranding to the San Jose Bobcats. Keep the color scheme, and the Bobcat I think is cool because that's a native animal to California. And the reason we went to San Jose is because they don't need to share a damn stadium. They don't need to share a city with the Rams. Get fans of their own again. And now we're on to the last division. It's the NFC West, and we will start with the Seattle Seahawks. They have rebranded to the Seattle Marmots, you know, the state animal for Washington. I didn't know what else to do when I wasn't about to copy the Supersonics. Bite me. That'll bring us to the Arizona Cardinals. This one I put a lot of effort into just because it looks so bland. But the Arizona Cardinals have rebranded to the Phoenix Roadrunners. I mean, there's Roadrunners there, and Roadrunners are a cool animal. We're still on the concept of a bird, but I feel like it fits Arizona a little bit more. And trust me, I would have loved to do the Coyotes, but I'm pretty sure that's already the hockey team there. Now we got the Los Angeles Rams. They are remaining in LA, keeping a similar color scheme, but they are converting to or rebranding to the Los Angeles Smog. I told my dad about this video, and he actually came up with this idea, and I thought it was pretty good because LA's full of smog. It's full of pollution. It might not be the nicest name, but it's honest. Plus, Puka Nakua's gonna leave you in a cloud of smog anytime you try and cover the guy anyway, so realistically, it does just fit so well. And the last team of the video, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. They have rebranded to the San Francisco Wardens, you know, due to Alcatraz Island, the historic prison right outside of California, built into California. I think the Wardens sounds cool, you know, because the Wardens are the men in charge. They're in charge of everybody. So are the 49ers until they get to the Super Bowl and they lose to the Sauce. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for me rebranding every single NFL team. I hope you guys had just as much fun with this video as I did making it. Let me know in the comments which one was your guys' favorite. Let me know which one you guys hated the most. I won't take offense. Trust me, I know these aren't that good. Also, feel free to show any support to this channel. You guys know I appreciate it, but I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.